Hey, what's up, fam? Interesting bit. We got at the start of Goblin Slayer episode 8. I I worry sometimes of what they're kind of gonna skim over and what they're gonna include in the anime. And I'm in some stuff in there like that isn't vital that they take up. There's some bits there obviously that people are like, why would you take that? That was cool. It was important. But I think it's some of the stuff that you'll still kind of get anyway, but it will become a little bit more fun to read it in the manga. And I think one of the gaps is maybe they were saving on time budget and trying to figure out the seasons and the episodes to kind of branch of what they were expecting. I don't think that they knew that Goblin Slayer was going to blow up like it did. I assume Goblin Slayer's next season will be a lot nicer than this one, especially if they do a year one. Like I really want season 2 to be year one. But anyway, you get to see the Goblin Slayer as a young boy train with his master and seeing all this cool stuff of him asking him like riddles and having to do with it. And you get this cool part where he asks what's in his pocket, and I'm wondering if that is a reference to The Hobbit. Uh, I'm not gonna act like I'm some super uh, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings fan, but I know that's stuff from The Hobbit, so I don't know. Maybe I have to look further into it to actually be able to know what I'm talking about, other than just like I think so. But you actually see a little bit of the Goblin Slayer's face, just from like his a little bit of his nose and his mouth down. For some reason, you can see that, but not his eyes. The only thing we really know about his face is people have seen it and they haven't been turned away. He's jacked, so he's probably some hunk because I think they skipped over a scene in the manga where Priestess and the elf archer have seen his face, and Priestess girl's definitely wanting some slaying of her own kind from the Goblin Slayer, and his face didn't deteriorate away, so he must be a handsome fella. But you get to see some nice character interactions with them. I've been saying like Goblin Slayer's action scenes are really cool, and it's nice, but it's the blend of that and then in between like cool action stuff when they're just doing really nice slice of life stuff and just talking and you getting some nice character interactions, but also some really good bits of adventure stuff. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna go get my chainmail fixed, and he's like, Goblin Stars over there just like looking at cheap swords to get, and he's still wearing his helmet, which I think was pretty funny. I like that bit. And I've been saying like I really like the in between action stuff. I don't get that a lot when it comes to seasonal anime. Like a lot of the time, I was like, I just want to see the cool parts. That's what I came here for. But Goblin Slayer does really good on both that and the character interactions and the nice calming bits between the crazy battles that they have when they're slaughtering goblins, or in this episode another monster, which was still done really well. And it's cool that the Goblin Slayer is able to take down really impressive things because he's smart and he's good at strategizing, and he's more of a like he's more like a genocide hunter than like, hey, let's go in this room and we'll fight this, and then maybe we'll kill it, get loot, and then we'll walk out. It's more like, here's what we need to do to minimize most damage casualties, and luckily I've brought all these things because I plan on mass murdering goblins. And there's a part here that I think they left out in the anime, and it's not much of a spoiler, I don't think. But when he's getting the ice cream, and the guy's like, "Yeah, some guy found a way to, I think it was he said make fire powder is what he called it into water, and it makes colds." And the Goblin Slayer it was like formulating how he could use that to kill goblins, which I think is hilarious. I really like that he'll take really anything that he can and be like, "How can I use this to kill goblins? Hold on, let me formulate a plan." And this is kind of how he operates a lot of the time, which I think is hilarious. But they also got some really nice interactions with him and the priestess. He's just even on the bench when she's like, I told you I was gonna do whatever I wanted, and obviously what she wanted to do was follow him. But also like you get to see like the bit with the chainmail when she's just like the guy's like it's broken up, it'd be cheaper to get a new one, but she wants to get that one fixed because it's the first time that the goblins ever complimented her on because she went and got chainmail like he said. Like I said, you could tell she wants her some. And the Goblin Slayer's just so oblivious because he's got such a one-track goblin killing mind. he doesn't see all these chicks around here that really want him. Because even in the earlier part of the episode, the uh, sword maiden also just she wanted some Goblin Slayer. But the Goblin Slayer is a hero. He's dedicated to his job, and he doesn't let times of pleasure seem to distract him. True hero. But when they get back to more of the action, you see them like going against I think they're called Watchers, you know, the big eyeball monsters that they can dispel magic, and they've got like a disintegration ray that can shoot from their eyes. I'm like, all right, here we got a plan. You know, obviously Elf Archer is very quick. She's small, she's nimble, she's an elf. Just kind of seems like coming with being an Elf Archer. Runs in, gets distracted where the dwarf guy goes and uses his spell to kind of make it drowsy. And the Goblin Slayer's like, all right, okay, plan next stage. Throws the big flag, like flower cloud by breaking this bag of flour that he got to make like a smoke screen. And once that happened, they brought out one of the lizard guy's little skeletal sentries, sent him in. Everyone left. Elf girl shot the eyeball monster with an arrow, so it kind of turned and looked at him. At this point, the skeletal creature is already kind of walking towards it, and Priestess Girl puts up a wall in front of the door to kind of pack all that in, kind of keep it all there. Whereas when he saw the skeletal sentry, shoots one of his beams, and there's a huge explosion. The Goblin Slayer like explains the whole thing about like, yeah, some guy told me like do all the mining and stuff. It had to do with stuff in there. I think gunpowder. I'd have to look. I don't know exactly what he said, but stuff in the air that well, if kept in like confined spaces and like that and like mixed around, it could be explosive. So he's just being real smart. He's real clever about it. He's got a really good strategic mind when it comes to stuff like that. And that's the thing I like about the Goblin Slayer. Even though he's a little bit crazy, he's he doesn't have that superpowers thing that some that, you know, you get a lot of characters have, that they're like, you know, they can go in and they could take a beating, but they have powers that they can, you know, keep fighting even if they get hurt. Goblin Slayer is, I mean, at best he's like peak human, maybe a little bit into like that small level superhuman of like strength, because you can kind of see that with some of the characters. Obviously, like with this great sword guy being able to lift a sword that big, he's got to be like really damn strong. But it but when the other creatures are that powerful and you have something that can shoot disintegration rays, obviously he can't just go in, and you get that tabletop RPG feel from how they handled the fight, which is cool. I like that about Goblin Slayer. It feels like you're watching an animation of a crew's time playing like Dungeons and Dragons or something, which is pretty nice. I like that aspect about it. I like shonen action battle like adventure stuff as well, but obviously this I just like that natural feel you get from Goblin Slayer, like you're watching some like really good and well done game of D&D being animated. So good episode, really nice. I like the character interactions. I thought it was a lot of fun. Tell me in the comments what you thought about this one below, and maybe check out my other videos. Thumbs up, subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. I appreciate everyone that's already subscribed though, and thank you very much for listening. Bye.